Hey, anything good on your mind today?
Yeah, I want to talk about the importance of lifelong learning in a fast changing world.
Ah, gotcha. It's kind of wild how quickly things shift, right? Feels like yesterday we were all figuring out TikTok, and now there's whatever it is. So, lifelong learning, totally agree. It's not optional anymore. What specifically about it are you about?
First, tell me that why has lifelong learning become more important now than in this generation?
Okay, straight to it. I like that. Honestly, it's the sheer speed of change. Previous generations often build a skill set and ride it for decades. Now, tech's disrupting everything, industries are morphing. A job you train for today might not exist in 5 years. It's less about getting an education and being done, and more about continuous adaptation. Plus, there's just so much more information available, which is both a blessing and a curse, you know? It demands we learn how to learn constantly.
So, how does rapid global and technological change influence the need of continuous learning?
It's a snowball effect, really. Global change means increased competition, not just for jobs, but ideas. Technological is the engine driving that speed, making existing skills obsolete faster. Think about it. AI is already automating tasks people spent years mastering. Continuous learning isn't just about keeping up with tech, though. It's about being able to navigate ambiguity, solve complex problems, and be resilient when things inevitably fall apart. Basically, it's about future proofing yourself in a world that refuses to stay still. Does that resonate?
Okay, tell me about some important
Hey,
skills people
you all
need to
right?
keep learning to
Just checking
stay
in,
relevant in fast changing.
diving in. Beyond the tech skills, coding, analysis, AI literacy, I think a few human skills are going to be huge. Critical thinking, for sure. Being able to assess info and not just take everything at face value. Creativity, problem solving in novel ways. Emotional intelligence is massive. Navigating relationships and collaboration when everything is remote hybrid. And honestly, adaptability itself is skill. Being comfortable with uncertainty, willing to try new things. List. Anything jump at you is especially important.
But why are adaptability and curiosity considered essential lifelong learning traits?
Good question. Adaptability is key because the future is unpredictable. Rigid thinking just doesn't cut it when the ground is constantly shifting. You're able to unlearn old ways and embrace new ones. Curiosity fuels that. It's the engine that drives you to explore, experiment, seek out new knowledge. Without curiosity, adaptability feels forced and stressful. With it, it's kind of exciting. It's about seeing change as a threat, but as an opportunity to grow and evolve. That makes sense.
What mindset shift is required to embrace lifelong learning as a habit or not a burden?
Ooh, good phrasing. A habit, not a burden. A biggest shift is moving away from seeing learn as something you finish and towards seeing it as part of life. Like, it's not about cramming, it's about constantly refining your understanding of the world. People get stuck in a fixed mindset, believing their abilities are static. Lifelong learning requires a growth mindset, believing you can develop new skills and intelligence. It's also about finding joy in the process, not just focusing on the outcome, focusing on the why instead of the what, learning because you're genuinely interested, not because you do. What are your thoughts? Is that something you find struggling with?
So, why do some people resist change and learning new things?
That's a big one. I think a lot of it comes down to fear fear of failure, fear of looking foolish, fear of the unknown, are to seek comfort and predictability. Change disrupts that. Plus, there's the sunk cost fallacy. People risk letting go of skills they've invested years in, even if those skills are becoming obsolete. Ego plays a role too, honestly. It can be hard to admit you don't know something. There's also just plain overwhelmed, so much information, so little time. It's easier to stick with what you know, even if it's not ideal. Does that resonate with you, or am I way off base?
Tell me about some new
Hey,
technologies that make learning easier.
okay, now we're talking. There's a ton. Micro learning platforms like Blinkist or short form distill complex book into bite-sized chunks. AI-powered learning tools are huge. Duolingo uses it for personalized language learning, for example. There's also a rise in immersive learning, VR and AR simulated experiences. And let's not forget accessible courses on platforms like Coursera, edX, and Skillshare. Even YouTube is a legit learning resource if you curate your feed well. Honestly, the biggest challenge isn't a lack of tools, it's filtering through them and finding what works for you. Have you experimented with any of these?
But what is this micro learning and how can it help busy people learning effectively?
Micro learning is basically breaking information into small, focused bursts. Think 5 to 10 minute lessons. It's designed to fit into the gaps in a busy schedule. Instead of dedicating hours to a course, you're learning in short, manageable chunks. It works well because it aligns with how our brains actually process information. Shorter attention spans, better retention with repetition. It's less overwhelming than traditional learning, and you can do it anywhere, anytime. Plus, it makes it easier to stay consistent, which is half the battle. It's like swapping a marathon study session for a series of sprints. Make sense?
What are the
You
biggest
still with
challenges
me?
people face when they try to learn continuously?
Okay, so beyond the resistance to change we talked about, I think time is the biggest goal. People are stretched thin as it is. Then there's information overload, too much choice can be paralyzing. Staying motivated is tough too, especially when you're not seeing immediate results. And let's be honest, a lot of learning resources are just boom. Finding something engaging is crucial. Also, a lack of clear goals. Knowing why you're learning something makes it much easier to stick with it. Finally, I think a big one is just integrating new learning into existing workflows. It's one thing to learn a skill, it's another to actually apply it. What about you? What do you think is the toughest part?
Don't you think some people face embarrassment or due to failure when they want to learn some new things?
Absolutely. That's a huge one. And I'm glad you brought it up. The fear of looking stupid or failing publicly is a really powerful deterrent. People worry about asking dumb questions or not grasping concepts quickly enough. Ties into that ego thing we talked about earlier. There's a lot of pressure to appear competent, and admitting you don't know something feel vulnerable. Building a learning environment where it's safe to make mistakes is crucial and often lacking. It takes courage to put yourself out there and be a beginner again.
So confidence is more important to learn anything new.
Um, I wouldn't say more important. Definitely um, a huge factor. Confidence isn't about already knowing everything. It's about believing you can learn it. It's about having a growth mindset and willing to embrace challenges. It allows you to push past those feelings of embarrassment or fear of failure. It's also about self-compassion, being kind to yourself when you stumble. That said, confidence can be built through small wins and positive reinforcement. It's not all something you're born with. It's something you cultivate. So yeah, it's incredibly important, but it's also something you can actively work on.
Okay. Thank you very much for such a kind information. Bye. I'll be joining you for
Oh,
another time with another interesting topic.
great. I'll be here. Don't hesitate to reach out whenever something's on your mind. Have a good one.